Hey y'all, how's it going? This is Charlie with Savage Gulf Constrictors. I wanted to talk to y'all a little bit today on the husbandry side of things, specifically what we use to clean our cages with. And what I have fell in love with, I use it for a lot of other stuff other than cleaning boa cages, is something called chlorhexidine. Now, some of y'all might be using this already. Some of y'all may have never heard of it, but I guarantee you most of y'all have seen it in your lives. This is the same stuff that a lot of hospitals like to use. They'll clean the tables with it, they'll clean instruments with it, they'll even use it for wound flushing. Veterinary clinics do the same thing. I do the same thing. That's exactly the type of stuff that I'll use it for. What makes this stuff so awesome is that it is pretty much non-toxic, and if you follow the instructions properly, you can find it very, very cheap. I usually get it at Tractor Supply Company. I think it's like $20 for a big giant gallon jug, and that goes a long, long way. The ratio to mix this stuff with clean, fresh water, it varies. You're going to see different places, different companies telling you different things about how to mix it for most animals, reptiles included. I have always been just fine mixing it just like a half ounce with that half gallon of water ratio. So a whole ounce, if you're doing a whole gallon, just put it in one of these spray bottles like this. Of course, mark all your spray bottles. I mean, when this is diluted, it does look a little bit like Windex or a glass cleaner. So you definitely want to mark your spray bottle so you're not using something toxic when you shouldn't be, and vice versa. Um, but yeah, this stuff is great. I think what I love about it, let me back up. When I was first introduced to this stuff, my vet actually gave it to me to treat one of our horses that had rain rot. And if any of you don't know, it's a pretty common condition. It happens especially out here in the southeast, where it stays muggy a lot of the time. A lot of rain, especially up here in the mountains. We're basically a rainforest. We get more rain in this particular area of the Cumberland Mountains than even the Pacific Northwest does, on average. So rain rot occurs when the horse is rolling around in the dirt and all that stuff. And then, of course, there's bacteria living in that dirt. It's a warm, humid, muggy environment. It's the perfect conditions. Next thing you know, you've got bacteria growth, mostly on the back hindquarters, the back, the neck of the animal. And then next thing you see are these ugly sores, and hair starts falling off. It's not a pretty sight. Um, I was told to use chlorhexidine. I could just go buy it myself. You don't need a prescription for it. And with a water mix, I'm spraying this stuff on the horse every day, brushing out the scabs. And I know it's a little kind of gross to talk about, but anyways, the good part, the happy ending to this story is that it absolutely worked. The horse was healed. I have used this stuff on dogs and cats here at the farm. I have some cats sometimes get hurt. They I don't know what they do to wind up having their paws get a scratch on them. Sometimes they mess their nose up, probably attacking animals out in the woods that they shouldn't. And spray a little bit of this stuff on every day, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day. It heals up and it kills the bacteria. And it's the same stuff that we do here with these boas. What I will use this stuff for is general cage cleaning. I will clean the water dishes. I'll clean the actual enclosure. The beautiful part is it doesn't leave any type of noxious smells. There's no dangerous vapors or odors left behind. It actually smells pretty good. And a lot of you out there have heard that, including me, when you smell it for the first time, it brings back, like sitting in your veterinarian office, you're like, gosh, that's what that smell is now. I can correlate it to something. So, and again, it's the same stuff. Uh, some of the things also, again, I might get some of y'all might disagree, and that's fine. But occasionally you get that boa that wants to strike out to the cage. It's not in defense, but it's feeding time. They smell you. Maybe you're feeding another boa, and they strike out and they hit the glass, and it looks crazy sometimes. It almost looks like they broke their jaw, and it is actually the lower lip is stuffed in side of the mouth. They almost look like a Simpsons character. So you have to get in there with a pair of tweezers and pull that bottom lip off those retracted bottom teeth. Uh, when that happens, sometimes there's a little blood, and I will use this stuff to flush out their mouths with. You know, I will take a like a medical type of Q-tip, hold that mouth open. I'll spray this a bunch of times in there, flush it out, and I'll do that a couple times a day. Never had a problem with it. Again, I'm not a veterinary doctor, but this is the stuff that I've used and never had an issue with, and I trust this stuff a lot more than I would a once or twice a year deep cleaning with like Clorox. Of course, I'd never use anything like that, but it's just a non-harsh, 100% safe, especially when used as directed. And again, it comes in that bottle. It's dark. The liquid is dark blue. Once you mix it to that specific ratio, then you're getting this very light blue, transparent, almost like I said, looks a lot like Windex. The complaints that I've heard on this stuff, it it's not really a cleaner as far as like scrubbing and breaking down matter. And I understand that. And to me, it's kind of like, well, what I like to do personally is I'm checking those cages so often that I don't want to get it to a point where there's fecal matter or you've got anything that's a waste product, urate that's actually caked and dried on there to a point where I have to use something to scrub and pull it off there. I mean, that's to me, it's kind of been in there longer than it should anyway. So I never really have a problem with this stuff. But then again though, I've noticed that if I spray this stuff and as I'm wiping down, it does create a mild kind of a sudsy, appearance. It does have suds, and I've never had an issue cleaning with this stuff, especially if you use just a paper towel, or a lot of times a lot of people like to use those shop towels that you can find in your auto parts section of whatever store you shop at. They're usually blue. They hold together a little bit better than your normal paper towels do. But most of the time, regular paper towel, this stuff, it tends to work just fine. And again, if something happens, the snake has a scratch on its outer body, spray this stuff on it. It'll help. I think one of the things, I mean, it does not kill every type of virus known to man out there. It does not kill every type of bacteria known to man out there. I think bacterial spores, it will not kill those, but if I'm not mistaken, the idea behind that is if you're spraying down a surface that contains bacterial spores, you use a rag to wipe that clean, and guess what? You're wiping away those bacterial spores anyways onto that rag, and you're tossing it. So the problem's solved there. Um, very little cons to a bunch of pros though. And again, if hospitals are using this, from everything from cleaning surfaces to flushing out wounds, and the same things happening at your veterinarian clinic, I think even barber shops use this. That's what you see, that blue liquid they're dipping their combs and their scissors in and whatnot. If it's good enough for them, it's good enough for me. So anyways, give it a look. If you happen to come across this video and you're already using this, that's awesome. If you're using something different that you trust a whole lot, it's your go-to, comment. Let us know what that is. I'd be interested in knowing what everybody's using to keep their guys, their boa guys and gals happy and safe. So anyways, just kind of a, I don't know, tip of the week or something like that, but it's something that I thought I'd get out there because when I was doing a lot of research, I saw a lot of keepers out there that were like, I never thought about or never heard of this stuff. So I thought I'd do a quick video on it and let you know. If I haven't yet, I'll post a few pictures of the product. There's a couple different makers of it, so not the bottle's not always going to look the same, but it's always under the same generic name of Chlorhexidine. So definitely, if you haven't tried it yet, you're looking for something, give it a try. It's kind of your all go-to thing. If I'm using this for something, even if it's on a healthcare wound treatment, something like that, and it's not working, then I know it's time more than likely for a trip to the vet. So another thing, a lot of times, with you get the occasional mouth rot. I've never experienced mouth rot with boas, but if I ever did, I know a lot of times the vet is so backed up. Sometimes I have to wait 3 or 4 days for an appointment. you can bet your bottom dollar I would be treating that animal with this until I could get over there to that vet, because anything is better than nothing. And since this has antibacterial properties, and I know that it kills a lot of different bacteria from my use on horses with their rain rot, this is the stuff that I would go to, because I know it's definitely not going to hurt them, and it can only help. If any, if it doesn't help at all, that's one thing, but it's definitely not going to hurt your snake. So definitely look into this, guys. I appreciate y'all tuning in. If this was interesting to you, if you learned a little something, please like, subscribe, check out our Instagram for what's going on. See how these pregnant mamas are doing, and how soon we are to having some baby boas on the ground. And we appreciate y'all tuning in. All right, we'll see y'all next time.